So it is the Christmas season. We're going to talk about the reason for the season. Now, you guys know I can't sing and I butchered this other song, but this time I got some lyrics. So maybe this song will tell us what Christmas is about. So I need you guys, sing this one with me. We're going to do like 2 verses of this song. So sing it with me. And you know how it goes. Some of y'all might know how it goes. Let me get a little tea. We ready? Y'all know I can't sing, so don't hold it against me. Burner, burner, boom. Hang on the mistletoe. I want to get to know you better. Burner, burner, boom. This Christmas, and when we trim the tree, how fun it's gonna be together. Burner, burner, boom. This Christmas, fireside is blazing bright. As we're caroling through the night. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Now here's the real reason for the season. It's coming up. You ready? You ready? Presents and cards are here. My world is filled with cheer and you. Burner, burner, boom. This Christmas, and as I look around, your eyes I shine the town you do. Burner, burner, burner. This Christmas, fireside is blazing bright, and we're caroling through the night. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Yeah, that must be the reason for the season. Presents and cards are here. And yeah, that's the reason, right? I mean, because that's why people are going out getting in debt for this season, right? That's the reason. We go out and get in debt. We go spend all this money. We go buy presents. If you don't buy presents, then, Santa Claus can't come see you. There's all kind of issues. So that must be the reason for the season, right? That must be. Wait. I think, I don't quite think that's the reason. I don't quite think that's it. No. Must be another reason for the season. Because I see people saying that this is the reason for the season. Bear with me. This is the reason for the season. Silent night. You know the words. Holy night. All is calm. All is bright. Round young virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Or as it say, Christ the Savior is born. That's the Temptation version. Christ the Savior is born. So that must be the reason for the season. Thank y'all for allowing me to butcher up those songs with this voice, because it doesn't sing well. But it's all right. I know you sang with me, because it's the reason for the season. To the season, right? So what's the real reason for the season? Is it the presents? Is it all the paganistic trees that you see in all these people who claim to be of a form of divinity, Christianity for the most part? They have these trees. These trees have pagan roots. They come from your winter festivals. They come from the Saturnalia. They come from the worship of Mithra. They come from the worship of Nimrod. They come from the worship of Tammuz. Right? All these are sun gods. The winter festival is the festival of the sun overcoming winter. It's finally, the days are not going to be as short. So the winter festival, which was celebrated in Saturnalia, which was celebrated by Mithra, Nimrod, Tammuz, all has these pagan roots that are typified in many of the Yule logs, the trees, the star in the east, all these different things, but mainly it's an astrological event. And we're gonna break this down a little bit as we go through, right? As we go through this. And here's the thing, let me go ahead and give you a little bit of information. And I'm going to be throwing up different pictures for you to see this information that I'm talking about throughout this entire video, right? In Jeremiah 10, 1 through 8, for the custom of the people are vain, for one cutteth a tree out of the forest. They deck it with silver and gold, and they fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it may not move. Sounds a little Christmassy to me, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But there was, in the time after the Council of Nicaea, you have Athanasius, who is not a full-fledged bishop in Alexandria, Egypt, but he's in Alexandria, Egypt. They just got the Council of Nicaea. They just got their orders by Constantine to organize Christianity. Athanasius was in charge of letting people know when the Easter festival would go on, which was the spring equinox. But he would send it based on the Roman calendar and the Egyptian calendar. They didn't do it according to the Jewish calendar, so they had to do it according to that calendar. Well, there was an issue going on, even before Athanasius, that the Coptic Christians in Egypt so loved the celebrations of the Saturnalia, so loved the celebrations of the winter festivals. So it was ordained, it was told by the bishops, told the people, sent it up to Rome to say, we need to change this. We need to, for years, for decades upon decades, they kept saying we need to change this. Even before the Council of Nicaea, we need to change it. The Council of Nicaea just gave them more power to do so. We need to change this, right? Because they're giving into this celebration. So what happens? It's easy. At first, they used to celebrate January 6th as the celebration to honor Jesus. Because January 6th was actually a traditional feast day, right? Of the Epiphany. All right, so January 6th was celebrated as the day that the three wise men, the Epiphany, came to visit little baby Jesus in little baby manger, right? It was also called Three Kings Day. Now, although they were celebrating this during this time frame, those Coptic Christians were also celebrating this winter festival. And a winter festival wasn't just celebrated by the Coptic Christians. It was a very popular festival in the Northern Hemisphere, period, right? And especially the upper Northern Hemisphere. The farther up in the Northern Hemisphere you were, the more it was celebrated, all right? So I just want to make sure I had that other one right. Nobody saying nothing, right? Just going off the dome here. But so what was going on? I'm not going to edit this video. I was going to edit all that stuff out. I'm not editing nothing, right? So they were celebrating this winter festival. What is the winter festival? Well, the winter festival is basically astrological. It is the day. See, this is what happens every year. Every year, you can see it right now. Every year, you guys, we have daylight savings time. We have our summer solstice. From the moment of the summer solstice, the sun starts to set in the south, right? It's setting in the south now every day. And every day, the days get shorter. So the darkness is winning. Winter is coming. We go through all the cycles. We get down to the 23rd, right? We get down, we're almost there. We get down to the 21st. Sorry, I said 23rd. We get down to the 21st. On the 21st, the sun sets south for the last time. For the last time, it sets where it moves south. And be specific, it moves south, right? So the next day is on the 22nd when it set, it doesn't move south. It doesn't set 1 degree south as it had been. It now sets in the same spot on the 22nd. It sets in the same spot on the 23rd. It sets on the same spot on the 24th. And then miraculously on the 25th, it rises 1 degree north and begins to set 1 degree north. So after that, the days begin to become longer. So the sun dies on the solar cross. And then it stays dormant in the same spot for 3 days. It is dead. The sun has now died and is in the grave for 3 days. And then on the 25th, it sets north. And the day is longer than it was the previous 3 days, previous 4 days actually. The day is longer, just a little bit. And so the sun is reborn. The sun is reborn in most ancient cultures, but the sun is born in the Christian culture. So the sun is born. Now this is also part of the whole resurrection story. It's just you wait for the spring equinox because now the day has conquered the night. The days are longer than the night. So it is fully resurrected and spring is here. Spring is here. So it kept setting. Now, and so that was the solar deity. So the sun became important. The sun became the thing that symbolizes that if you made it this far and you make it through the winter, the rest through the winter, that you will survive because the sun is now fighting for you. The sun is now there for you. The sun got your back. The S-U-N is now bringing life. And in Egypt, the Nile Valley would flood again, bringing nutrients and vitality. So this winter festival in Saturnalia that was going on in Egypt was a huge, huge holiday. It's a grand time. Lots of celebration. Now, of course, with the Romans involved, that Saturnalia, ooh, that thing got a lot of orgies going on and a whole bunch of other things like that. And, the Christians were like, we can't do that. We can't be talking about some orgy, porgy, food, and fun. But they might as well say orgy, porgy, food, and fun, orgy, porgy, worship the sun. I know that's not how the second line goes, but I'll just, have fun with it, y'all. But, so it's setting like that. And this symbolism of the Egyptian is used by the Christians. If you look at this right here, it shows you how they look at this solstice, 3 days in the sun. And then, you had Ra and the sun, and you had, you had two women on the side, and it represented the Ankh, which is why it's on the cross. And you got, in the Christian, they converted that to Mary and Mary Magdalene, Mary's mother, Mary Magdalene, his wife. And they changed it, 1,000+ years later to fit. You have to remember, all these religions are adaptive. It was not uncommon as the Greeks had adapted their religion into the Egyptians and the Romans had adapted their religion into the Greeks and the Egyptians. It wasn't an uncommon thing to adapt the symbolisms, adapt the ideas, adapt the concepts of a previous religion into your current religion. So no one would have, people for the mass would have understood this process and looked at it as equal. This is why Constantine said, Sol Invictus is the same as your Jesus. The unconquerable sun is the same as your Jesus. Who was Sol Invictus? Mithra. Mithra is Sol Invictus, the unconquerable sun, which continues to lead us into an idea of, well, what gods were born on December 5th? Like, what culture celebrated this winter festival, this sun conquering? And mind you, this is all Northern Hemisphere teachings. Southern Hemisphere teachings did not do this because in the Southern Hemisphere, this is the summer solstice. If you was in Southern Africa, Southern South America, if you was in Australia, the Aboriginals during this time of year, they're having summer. So this is the summer solstice, not the winter solstice. This is the sun is now starting to die. And then when they get to these, what we have in the summer solstice in June, July timeframe, because I don't remember which one it is right now, then that is their winter. So this is a Northern Hemisphere thing. I want you to think about that. This is only happening in the Northern Hemisphere. This is why all the cultures who worship on December 25th, who said this is the sun god's day, their gods were born on the December 25th because the sun is now born or reborn. You got the Egyptian, Horus, 3000 BCE, as well as Osiris, 3000 BCE. Those are both in Egypt or Kemetic. You got Atticus of, I can never say this name right, Phrygia, that's Greek, 1400 BCE, before the Common Era. You got Krishna in the Indus Valley, 1400 BCE. Zoroaster in the Mesopotamia area, to which was a huge influence on the Hebrew culture. All right, you got the Canaanites and the Zoroastrians, huge influence on the Hebrew culture. All right, born on that same day, BCE. Which Zoroaster is an interesting character because it's an actual man who was deified later, but 1000 BCE, still before the Hebraic writings. Mithra of Persia, Sol Invictus, that unconquerable sun, 600 BCE. Heracles, or what we call him, Hercules, the Greek, 800 BCE. Dionysius, Greek, 186 BCE. Now notice, 800, 186, they're both Greek. Why would it change? Because different areas have different stories. Dionysius, 186. Tammuz, who is a Sumerian deity, 400 BCE. Adonis, Greek again, 200 BCE. Hermes, Greek, but we also know Hermes as Thoth in the Egyptians. You know, Hermes Trismegistus, 400 BCEs. Prometheus, born at the beginning of mankind on December 25th. All right. So we have all of these other cultures in that general area who are commonly used to this winter festival, this Sol Invictus, this reborn, birth of the sun, reborn, the sun being reborn. We have all these cultures of that time frame who had that time, who had that date. So it would not have been crazy for the, if you just be logical for a second, just be logical. It is not crazy for them to have determined that this is going to be the holiday. That this is, we're going to switch, as we are taking over Christianity, we are taking over the religion of Rome, and Rome is the power of the day. We're going to make this our holiday to celebrate it. We're going to take away from all those other people and make it into ours so that the people will easily migrate over because they're used to it. They're accustomed to it. And all you need is 2 generations of people celebrating something and you're good. 40 to 80 years. And you change a society. 40 to 80 years, back then, a whole society changes. Especially when it's at the tip of a blade. When it's at the tip of a blade, you do a lot. You would do a lot. But even if you studied your stories, looked at the literature in your Bible, for those who are on here, and I didn't do my warning to my preemptive thing to say that these videos are for people who are walking away from traditional religions. Not for those who are stuck in it or who want to stay in it. If you want to stay in it, fine. I have no problems with you staying in it. This is for my people who have walked away from it and realize that we will break it down so that we can reform our minds. But if you read that book, the Christian Bible, look at the attributes, the descriptions around the birth. Only in Matthew and Luke do you have those descriptions. Matthew and Luke is nowhere near and nowhere else in the book, right? The shepherds were out in the fields. 3 shepherds out in the field. It's cold as hell. And I know, I always thought that was a stupid saying. It's cold as hell, right? Doesn't make sense. But it's cold. It's too cold to have sheep. I'm in Atlanta right now. Atlanta, Georgia, we're having 39 degree nights, 40 degree nights, 38 degree nights. If you had sheep, small sheep out in the field, chickens and other small animals out in the field at night, they die. You don't have small animals at night. They die. I was in Israel. The first time I was in Israel, it was February, right? It's cold. And Israel sits on the Mediterranean Sea. Like the Mediterranean Sea smacks into Israel. That's where it ends. It's cold. That breeze coming off, and it's mountainous and it's desert. So anybody who's been in the desert or been in the mountains and then there's water, think about it. Sea breeze, mountains, desert, cold. Animals would die. So shepherds would not have been out in the fields at night for the angel Gabriel to come and say, "Lo, upon to you I forgot how I go. It has been born unto you, the Savior has been born," or something like that. He said that Gabriel supposedly said to these shepherds, these shepherds out in the field. But it wouldn't have been too cold. So if that would have happened, it would have been born in the summer, in the spring at minimum. It was April, somewhere between April and August, or April and September, you're going to get this birth. Because those are the time frames where you will have shepherds in the field. And I'm talking late April at that. You'll have them out there in the field. Other than that, they're not in the field at night. Okay? But the early church leaders, they seized the opportunity to grab onto these holidays that these people were already celebrating like a big dog. Now I want to show you something that's a little bit more astrological as well when it comes to this whole deal. what I want you to see is what commonly the Greeks call Orion's belt. It's Osiris' belt, or Osiris's belt. And then they have Osiris' belt, the constellation of Osiris has the belt 3 stars, also known as the 3 kings. Below Osiris is the star constellation of Isis. Of course, the Greeks now call it Canis Major. Why they want to call the woman the B word, I don't know. Maybe that's where we got it from. But the primary star in the constellation of Isis is the star Sirius, which is right in the space of the womb of Isis. On December 25th, Osiris's belt points straight at the womb of Isis, which points straight at the birth of the sun on December 25th. The 3 kings follow the star in the east to the birth of the sun. Osiris's belt, my ding-a-ling, points to the womb, impregnates the womb of Isis to birth the son Horus on the 25th of December. Just want you to understand that. Now, in thinking about that, I want you guys, I know geography is an interesting thing. I'm going to give you 2 maps. These 3 kings, these 3 Magi, which the word Magi is where we get the word magic. Magi also means, we get the idea of wizard. Wizard means wisdom, all right? It has a root in the word wisdom. Well, we get the word wisdom from wizard. Magi, the magicians, who are also astrologers, it is said in the story that they saw a star in the east, right? And the star in the east led them to the birth of baby Jesus. Now, looking at the map, we see that Persia is east of Jerusalem. Depending upon which map you're looking at right now, it's either going to say Syria in that spot, or hopefully I got up the one that shows you Israel. It says Palestine. Find where it says Palestine. And Jerusalem is right below that. Over past Iraq is Persia. Iraq is Persia. That is east of Palestine. All right? So, if they followed a star in the east, they would have went west. They would have went to Afghanistan. They went to India. They would not go east, because Palestine, Jerusalem, is west of Persia. Now, when you look at the story, it also says they went and talked to Herod. And then they followed the star in the east to Bethlehem. Well, Bethlehem is southeast, slightly east, but south of Jerusalem. You ain't going east. Now, many have said that they was following a comet, or it might have been something else. No. What the story is taking is that the star in the east. Let me show you this one more time. 3 kings. The star Sirius, called to this day, the star in the east, showed the birth of the sun. This is why there's 3 wise men, 3 Magi, who are following this star in the east. But they somehow went west and didn't go east. It makes no sense. Now, let me throw this map back up again. Even if you went by the ideal, I want you guys to look at this map, and at the bottom, what you're looking at is the Arabian Peninsula as the main thing here. Where you see Oman, and below, next to Oman, is Yemen. All right? Because of the gifts they brought, frankincense, it is theorized that the 3 wise men came from Yemen or Oman because they brought frankincense, and that is where frankincense originates from, or at least it was developed there. It was where Sheba comes from, the Queen of Sheba bringing. That's why they say Queen of Sheba came from either Eritrea or Somalia, or that area, because she brought all this frankincense to Solomon. It is said that the 3 wise men could have came from there. But even from there, if they follow the star in the east, they are still going northwest. Northwest. They're not going east. They're not going east. All right? So, and plus, just because it's there doesn't mean the trade shipping lines of that day took frankincense from Oman and Yemen and took it up to Persia, up to where modern day Iran, took it over to India. So the ships carried it there. So it's not like they could not have gotten it if they were in Iran or Iraq. It's not like they could not have gotten it. They didn't have to go all the way down to Yemen to get it. Plus, do you know how long that journey takes? If they was in Persia, it takes like 4 months to walk, or a camel caravan to get there. And they wouldn't go straight. They had to go up around the harshest part of the desert or take ships down and around. Either way, they're going west. Some version of west. So what is the real reason for the season? The fact that when you look at this one, you see all the gods whose birthdays are worshipped on that day. And as Christianity began to take over, they took over those gods' birthdays, right? They took over Hermes and Dionysius and Buddha. They took over Krishna and Zoroaster. They took over Horus and Mithra and Hercules and Adonis and Tammuz. They took over all these, conquering the sun, conquering winter, conquering the night. And why would man originally want to conquer the night? Because one of the original religions of man, where almost every religion births out of, is animism. Is animism. It is the idea of seeing God in nature, the idea of seeing God in the animals, seeing God in the trees, seeing God in nature. What happens in nature after the summer solstice? After the summer solstice, the nights are longer. Man is not the king of the jungle. He's not the king of the plains. He's not the king of the mountains. There are mountain lions, there are tigers, there are bears, there are all these other animals that can kill man. In a hand-to-hand, based on what you naturally have, man loses. At night, you hear the sounds of the wolves, the sounds of the coyotes. At night, you hear the owl. And I've been at, even as a grown man going like to Stone Mountain, there's an owl in Stone Mountain Park when you walk up that mountain at night. That thing got the loudest little hooting, and you be looking like, dang, and you can't see him. So there's a part of you that's like, this thing, if I was small enough, could come and just snatch me up. So man was not king of the night. So the night presented fear for man. Prevented, I gotta make it through the night. Let me please make it through the night. If I can only get through the night, then what the day brings. There's a Christian song that says that, talks about that. Just gotta make it through the night. Because when the day comes, I can see my enemy coming. When the day comes, I can see the animals that may approach. I can see the bears, I can see the lions, I can see all of these, which is why every culture that developed out of animism, which is all of them, and every culture recognized the fact that when the days start getting longer, their fear starts to become shorter. Now they don't sleep in fear, live in fear. People say people lived in caves. Of course they lived in caves. Caves was a better safe haven, one way in, one way out. I can guard the cave with less people, and we can all sleep restfully and peacefully. We take shifts. You sitting out in the open, doesn't work. You go out camping in North Georgia this time of year, well, not this time of year, bears should be asleep, but at this time of year for the other nocturnal animals and the bears that don't sleep, you need to burn that fire all night. Why? To keep the animals away. They say that any good camper, I'm not a big time camper, but most people who have told me about camping, and when I was in the Marine Corps and we was out in the field and we had our patrols weren't just looking for other humans. We're looking for other animals that may come through. But you kept the fires burning to keep the animals away. All right? You keep them away. The bobcats, the mountain lions, all these animals that man, the panther, we not trying to fight a jaguar. Sorry, it's not going to happen. So from these people who come out of animism, we have this fear of the night. And the sun being born again, defeating the night, coming through strong, December 25th. And then we get to the spring equinox. Now the days are longer. Now you've really brought it back. And spring and the plants and the vegetation, the fruits and all these things are coming back. So the real reason for the season ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. Really ain't got nothing to do with Buddha and Krishna and Tammuz and Dionysus and Atticus and all these people. And it sure hell ain't got nothing to do with Santa Claus. That's a whole nother video that we're gonna talk about later. So as we go through this time frame, as always, I gotta prepare my people, because when they say, what's the reason for the season? The sun is finally starting to win and conquering the night. The reason for the season is that I don't have to live in fear for the night. Now we forget about these things because we're surrounded by houses and neighborhoods and cities and towns. So we don't live in a situation where animals can just do that kind of thing. We don't live in a situation where the night is fearful for man. But the biggest threat to man at night is other men, is other humans. You know, what do we say? Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. So the real reason for the season, if you're going to participate in anything, enjoy your family. Enjoy your family. If they Christian, just enjoy your family. If they Muslim, just enjoy your family. If they Hebrew Israelite, enjoy your family. If they black, enjoy your family. They white, enjoy your family. They Asian, enjoy your family. They from Russia, enjoy your family. From Cuba, enjoy your family. Wherever they from, let's set your politics down and enjoy your family. Set your religion down. Just enjoy your family. Ziggy Marley said it best. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. So through all of these things, through all of this fighting that we do, we should remember the words from Ziggy. And I ain't gonna, I will not brutalize. I don't know, y'all probably get brutalized. All right. What's the words? I don't even want to mess it up because I want y'all to hear the words from this song, the lyrics. All right. These first couple of lines. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. I'll take you to the temple tonight. But let me just say, all my days I've been searching to find out what life is really worth through the books and Bibles of time. I've made up my mind. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is the calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold, 'cause no one's gonna lose their soul. Just saying. Through the books and the Bibles of time, I've made up my mind. Not gonna condemn, not gonna convert. This is the calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold, 'cause no one is going to lose their soul. Talks about it's not, I don't want to fight. Hey, let's go fly a kite. There's nothing we can't cure, and I'll keep you in my arms for sure. So don't let nobody stop us. Free spirits have to soar. With you, I share the gift that we now know. That love is my religion. If you want to have a reason for this season, let love be your reason for this season. What he says, when I'm done searching now, I find out what life is really worth, not in the books that I find, but by searching my mind. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is the calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold, because no one's going to lose their soul. Let me just say that part one more time. Not in the books that I find, but in searching my mind. Y'all have a great day. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Enjoy everything that we've talked about today. Don't get mad at me because of my singing. Subscribe to the channel. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the God Doggone channel. Right now, hit the button and I'm put it right there. So subscribe and y'all check out some of these other videos. Remember, you gotta free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is not negotiable.